Oh, good Christ, here we go. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's another edition of the Joe Raineri Show, brought to you by YouWager.eu. Guys, it is where America bets. It's sure as hell where this show bets, and I hope by the time we are done with today's show, if you haven't listened to me already, it is where you are betting, and hopefully, at the very least, it is where you are line shopping. And to hammer home this concept and this idea of how important it is to be a successful and profitable sports investor in 2019, or any year for that matter, how important it is to shop numbers and make sure you're getting the best numbers. So I thought, who better to help us hammer this home than YouWager's very own sportsbook manager, odds maker, Brian Young. He's going to join us. This is the guy in the book, as we speak, has been there, lives there, dies there. This is a guy that is on top of everything that is going on, not just with his book, but of course, part of being a great sports book and part of being a great sportsbook manager is understanding what the competition is doing. So I thought it would be great to talk to him for a few here today, not only get his take on what's going on behind the scenes at YouWager, what's going on behind the scenes in a sports book. Like, how are they coming up with the lines? How did they determine what the juice is? You know, what games right now seem to have a lot of the sharp money? What seems to have a lot of the public money? I got a whole bunch of questions that I want to ask Brian, and I thought these guys would be the perfect people to come on, you guys to get to know them, get to know Brian. I want to have him join us all throughout baseball season as we're getting ready for football season, but more importantly, as we're getting ready for March Madness. So he's going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Also, we've got another free play. TrendyBets.com just blew us away again last night, delivering the Colorado over. Colorado-Dayton, okay, we told you here on the show, we love that over at 139, right? I didn't. Trendy Bets told you. Boom, another one that cashed last night. Also, Ralph Michaels and Teddy Covers from Wager Talk. Great job with those guys delivering on their 5% plays. We are making money, people. We're not even there yet. Tomorrow is the real craziness, the final 64. We are just doing a little appetizer here in the meantime, and hopefully you guys are going to make it a very profitable next couple of weeks. A lot of money can be made, but a lot of money can be lost if you don't know what the hell you're doing, which is why we are doing our best here to bring you as many knowledgeable people in the sports investing world as possible. Time to hear from the sportsbook themselves and the sportsbook manager, Brian Young. But free plays are coming, TrendyBets.com. Looking forward to that. Also want to send a shout-out to the Sports Keg CEO. Another successful Kegcast last night. A lot of guys racking up the units. A lot of money being made at the Sports Keg CEO. That free Kegcast on YouTube each and every night beginning at 7 o'clock. They are live betting, and they are helping you live bet, and it is a giant think tank of handicappers like yourself, of sports investors going, how do I get in on this? I mean, up over 50 units now or in the last month and a half with these live, interactive, live wagering, live in-game betting webcasts that they are hosting on YouTube. Check it out. The Sports Keg. Jay leading the charge. Couldn't be happier and prouder of those guys that are in there. They are doing what we are all trying to do. Spread the knowledge, spread the wealth. And again, it ain't you versus me. It's not this capper versus that capper. It is all of us, okay, who take out our money and buy a ticket and go to that damn window or go on the app and place our money down. It is all of us against these damn books, and that's right. I'm bringing the enemy on. I am bringing the guy, the sportsbook manager, who is behind the enemy there, the guy that makes the lines, the guy that sees how it works, the guy responsible for trying to figure out how to make the sports books money. And let's be reasonable, they make a lot of it. So we're going to pick his brain. We're going to go to the enemy here today. We are going to talk to Brian Young from YouWager.eu. But I do want to remind you guys a very special opportunity right now. In fact, at YouWager, how about 100%? We've been talking about 50% sign-up bonus. How about a 100% sign-up bonus right now at YouWager? How cool is that? 100%. All you got to do is open up the account, and boom, they'll drop a 100% deposit match bonus into your account. That's right. Let the madness begin right now. So how do you do it? It's very simple. You call 1-800-YouWager. 1-800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50. Forget the 50%. It's 100%. Right now, you call 1-800-YouWager. Code JRS50. They are waiting. They are standing by. And boom, you guys have the opportunity. Open up an account. 100% deposit bonus match. And guys, you don't have to fund it with $1 million. You ain't got to take out a second mortgage to fund the damn account. You just need the account open so you can shop. And I think what you'll learn from talking to Brian here in just a minute is that they are some of the most competitive pricing in the market on the offshore books that you will see. Very easy to put the money in, even easier to get the money out. All sorts of great stuff happening, but you got to have the account open. So go ahead, do it now. 1-800-YouWager. Give them the code JRS50, and they will go ahead and get you ready to rock and roll. It is March Madness, a 100% deposit bonus match happening right now at YouWager. And I also want to let you guys know, if you haven't done so already, make sure you are downloading the app to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. We've got you covered each and every day, not only in the world of sports, but the world of sports betting and the world of, the world that makes millionaires overnight, pretty much, the world of daily fantasy and year-long fantasy. Nobody does it better than us. We have the millionaires, the guys that actually win these tournaments on consistently here. They have live shows, live programming, 6, 8 to 11p on a radio stations heard around the country, on cable networks, seen around the country, and can be on your phone and your app simply by downloading the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app. Go to YouTube, go to Google, go to the Google Play Store, go to iTunes. Okay, guys, it's very simple. It looks like that. The Fantasy Sports Radio Network. Download it. Take us with you. We are there 6A to 9A every morning, East Coast time, getting you guys up, getting your day started. What did you miss overnight? And if you were like me and you fell asleep because you thought you lost the Nets game last night against the Sacramento Kings and you were really pissed off and throwing things and cursing at people, maybe that was just me, but that could have been you. And then all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and go, what did I miss? Holy crap, the Brooklyn Nets came back from down 28 and ended up winning that game. We've got you covered. Make it rain in the morning. Me and Dane Martinez, 6A to 9A Eastern Standard Time. Everything you missed in the world of sports and sports betting overnight, we've got you covered. And then, of course, you got that lunatic, degenerate gambler friend of mine, Gabe Morency. Him and I have got you on the morning after, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Kelly in Vegas, Kelly Stewart, Wager Talk, dropped by today. Got to hang out with her on the show. She's got that big, Showtime documentary series, Action, about the sports betting world that's getting ready to hit Showtime. She came by, told us all about that. We talked some games. We talked about her philosophy, her brackets. Great stuff. You can have it simply by downloading the app. It is free, the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. All right, free plays coming your way, trendybets.com. One in college, one in the NBA. They won both of them last night. You and I both know they're probably going to win theirs tonight. But first, do want to also remind you, our friends at Miami Acura are making this all possible here, guys, and I hope that when it comes to numbers, and we tell you this all the time, right? You're shopping numbers. You're playing numbers. You're not playing teams. Well, the same thing with car shopping. You're not shopping dealerships. You're trying to get the best number. And I can tell you right now, the best numbers are going to happen at Miami Acura. I promise you, whether it's a certified pre-owned vehicle, used car, or a brand new 2019 RDX, you will get no better deal than you do at Miami Acura. 1-855-564-4669. South Dixie Highway, Palmetto Bay, for you lunatics in the 305 and 954 who know who Pitbull is. You know exactly where to find them on South Dixie Highway. Outside of the area, just log on to MiamiAcura.com. That is MiamiAcura.com. So simple, guys. Get there. Do it, okay? If you are in the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, there is only one place to go, and that is MiamiAcura.com. And we want to thank those guys very much for supporting us. And coming up here at the bottom of this hour, 5:30, we will have your free plays of the night. You're not going to want to miss them. We are talking about a collection of the best bets from around the country. Some of the best handicappers, including our friends at TrendyBets.com, going to be sharing their favorite plays of the night coming your way. Don't miss it. But first, Hey, guys, welcome in. Real excited here today. Love checking in with our friends at YouWager.eu. And I guess nobody during the madness that is March, nobody better to talk to than our good friend Brian Young. He is the Sportsbook manager at YouWager.eu, and he joins us here today because, Brian, it is pure madness, man. I mean, it has been pure madness for a while now, but certainly beginning tomorrow, for the next couple of weeks, it's craziness. So how are you guys doing at YouWager? Got to be excited for March Madness, no?
Oh, we're always excited for this time of the year. It's definitely madness, like you said. Whoever came up with the name was spot on with it. They got it. They hit the nail right on the head with that one. But yeah, it's always craziness. You never know who which underdog is going to come and beat. A number 1 seed, a number 2 seed. So it's definitely an exciting time of the year for sure.
Yeah, one of the things we talk about a lot here, Brian, on the show is, and you guys know this too, we've talked about this in the past, is how important it is to line shop, right? It's kind of cardinal rule number 1 when it comes to being a smart sports investor is you need to give yourself options, which is what we tell people. And, what I have found, and I know what a lot of others have found, is that it's nice to have a local book now that it's legalized in the States here. It's nice to be able to go down and get it, but if you can't, you need to have an offshore that you trust, and that we love you guys, but talk about it, man. Even for you guys, it's important to be competitive. So even you guys are line shopping, aren't you?
Of course. I mean, we're always in the know about what other books are doing and what they're not doing. We try to stay on top of the ball with everything, with our bonus structure, our different line movements. We try to cater to our customers for sure. But it's like you said, it's just complete madness. Line shopping is definitely the way to go, especially during March Madness time, because other books might juice a certain line and we might not, and stuff like that. So you definitely find, like you said, line shop, hit the best prices you can. And it's definitely advantageous to have, like you said, a book that's offshore. You don't have to drive to the casino. You can sit on your couch, and plus the juice at the casinos is probably a little bit more than what you would expect out of a offshore. So definitely beneficial to have that offshore site that you got for sure.
Yeah, definitely is. And guys, follow the links below here. Make sure you get the YouWager, give them the code, all of that good stuff. You got to have it open up. And it doesn't have to be funded with $1 trillion. You just need to be able to get it so you can actually do the shopping. And, Brian, what did you notice? Obviously, it was crazy with the championship last week. We had the conference championships. But then Sunday comes, and all of a sudden the brackets are made, and here come the floodgates. What were some of the things that you noticed right off the bat? Early betting, probably from the sharps, maybe not so much from the public. Where were they all going? Were they gravitating towards Duke? What were they doing?
We do have a lot of money on Duke comparatively to the other teams, but I would say most of them gravitated towards Virginia. Virginia winning the whole thing. I don't know why. To me, I do agree with the way that's going. Not maybe Virginia per se, but I do not think Duke can pull it off this year. I think they're just too young, even with Zion there and all the front court they got there. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, a lot of money came in on Virginia right away. As soon as that door opened, they took Virginia. But again, we do also have a lot of money on Duke. Duke is also a good favorite in there. And also, of course, you got North Carolina and Tennessee always at the top of the list as well. So we'll see how it ends up. We're getting money in pretty much everywhere right now. We'll see, by tomorrow it should be double, triple the fact that we have right now. But the madness is not over, Joe. That is for sure. And we're just beginning to see what's about to start here in the next couple of weeks.
Usually what will happen, and Brian Young joining us here, he is the sportsbook manager at YouWager.eu. And a lot of times, Brian, I know a lot of talk here over the last couple of days. We've got a couple of playing games last night, a couple of playing games tonight, but a lot of people have been talking future bets here. And obviously when you log on to YouWager, you can place the bet on who wins the whole thing, and we get that. But some of these first round matchups here that are coming up, whether it's the playing game tonight or even tomorrow, are you starting to see, is a lot of the money sharp right now? Are you starting to see Joe Public funds come in and just, woohoo, it's, I went to Duke, I got, my girlfriend went to Virginia. Are you starting to see a lot of that Joe Public money roll in yet, or is it strictly just on the futures?
No, we got a lot of public money actually coming in. Obviously, it's like I said yesterday, we are actually going to be seeing a lot more money come in tomorrow morning and probably throughout the next couple of days, actually. But I would say most of the sharps have already made their plays just because they saw those early lines. They took advantage of them. Right now, we're at the point where lines are becoming a little bit more solid as time goes on. You won't see too many more changes unless something big happens, an injury or whatnot. So that's when the sharps play. Like you said, they come in early because they can see a line that they can take advantage of, and they do it. So we move our lines accordingly compared to that. So right now it's kind of settled down. I haven't seen, it's pretty crazy with everyone looking at the new lines. The overnight limits are over as well. So, the mornings get pretty crazy for us. But right now it looks like everything's kind of settled in, and the lines are holding pretty strong at the moment.
What are you seeing this year? It's very top heavy, this tournament, right? So we know about the number ones, we know about the number twos, Gonzaga, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Michigan State, the blue bloods here. We know this, but the first time in a long time I can remember, Brian, where we're talking a lot of upsets here. People are enamored with UC Irvine. People are enamored with Northeastern. They expect the Kansases to go down and Wisconsin to go down, Kansas State, so when you're looking at some of these first round matchups, these 12-5s, these 13-4s, what is the most bet? What are you seeing? Who is the biggest underdog, these trendy dogs that Joe Public loves? Where's a lot of the money going now? Is it UC Irvine? Is it, is it Bradley? Who is it that people are looking at right now going, aha, they're going to end up being a bracket buster?
Actually, we got St. Mary's. We got a lot of money on the St. Mary's versus Villanova. A lot of people, and I can't say that I disagree with them. St. Mary's has played tough. They had a couple good wins in the year, and they're a good team. But right now, I feel like that's a good team. What I'm seeing is that a lot of public and sharp guys are picking them to win against that Villanova in that first round there.
Wow.
We also got Yale. We're heavy on Yale to beat LSU, and Minnesota to beat Louisville. So it's all over the place. We actually got money on Montana to beat Michigan as well.
Damn.
So, it's crazy. It's like you said. It's like you said earlier. It's just complete madness. You never know what's actually going to happen, and people try to make their best guesses possible. But this time of the year, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, it truly is. It's a lot of people, and it's only going to get worse because as the tournament moves on, as we start to see some winners, it's going to get real chalky real quick. And it's that time of year. I mean, they came out with the stats, something like $8.5 billion a year bet on sports, and just about more than half of it bet this time of year, which means, right, you're going to get a lot of first-time bettors, novice bettors, bettors that normally don't play full year round, but they'll dabble a little bit, whether it be with brackets or whether it be first-time sports bettors. So, how do you manage that from your standpoint, guys, going that, normally the handle is this, but now all of a sudden this year we're getting this extra money, we're getting this, you guys are all about being in the middle. I mean, you guys want to make sure you're covered on if one side wins or if another side wins over there. So I imagine it's got to be a little crazy this time of year for you guys from the standpoint of we got a lot of extra handle coming in here we normally don't at, let's say, July during a baseball season. You got a lot more right now, so I imagine it's a little crazy over there.
Yes, it definitely is a little crazy. You're completely right. We do see a lot more money coming in that we usually don't see. Different accounts, new accounts throwing, 500 on a game, 1,000 on a game. We tend to adjust accordingly. We don't like to let our sharp players kind of dictate what lines we have out there. So we'll hold the line for a little bit as much as we can. But if we're heavy on one side, we're going to move it. We move just like any other book that you see. I mean, we might be a little bit more generous than the other ones, but to be honest, we're just in another book that just likes to keep our customers happy and offer them the right amount of juice that they're going to get the best money, the value for their money. You know what I mean?
Now, how would you look at it here? Brian Young, he is the sportsbook manager, YouWager.eu, joining us. For the better, for somebody that's watching this right now that may not understand, let's say all of a sudden, right, a game opens up -3 at 110, right? -110, -3 and -110. Then all of a sudden, it doesn't go to -3.5 or -4. It goes to -115. then maybe it starts creeping up where the juice gets a little higher. Could you explain to the viewers exactly why that is and what is happening behind the scenes when somebody sees a line? The line isn't going up, the juice is going up. What usually triggers something like that?
What usually triggers that is when a sports book, us personally, if we're moving cents like that, we don't really like to do it that way. We like to move it a half point, a point. But if we're moving cents, it's because we're extremely heavy and we don't want to go off the board. We don't want to be a point higher than the rest of the books. We want to kind of stay on par with them. We just want to get a little bit of buyback money on the other side. It's not saying that the 3 minus 120 is a bad deal. It's just we're heavy on that side. We have to charge a little bit more for that side. It's just like, if you go to Walmart and you see Doritos, and next thing you know, they're raising the price of Doritos because the demand is so high. It's a similar situation than that. But if we're moving, like I said, if we're moving cents, it's usually because we don't want to go off the board. And it's not something that we like to do. We don't really mess with juice too much. We don't like to raise prices on our customers very often, but if we do it, that's the reason.
And it's, that's why it is so important when we talk about line shopping is that, yes, you may see a book that has, -3 at minus 120 and, you go to YouWager and it's, maybe it's -3 at 110, then you've got to be able to make that decision for yourself as to where the value lies for you. But, we've seen this a lot, especially with a lot of different books where they don't want to have to move the line a point and then all of a sudden people go, no, I can't take it at -4, right? So what they'll do is they'll move that juice a little bit just to be able to protect themselves. And in hope is that the player's going to look at that and say, you know what, maybe I should go the other way. But you got to have that choice, which is why we're telling you, and what I've been saying here with YouWager forever, guys, is that some of the most competitive, and you see it right here with Brian, what he's telling you, some of the most competitive pricing that you're going to find in the offshore markets are with what these guys are doing at YouWager. And you got a game tonight, in fact, St. John's, Arizona State. A lot of people feel this is, it opened up -2.5. It's been bouncing back and forth in a number of different books. When you look at that play-in game tonight between St. John's and Arizona State, what are you seeing right now at YouWager?
We actually have a lot of money on Arizona State, if I'm honest with you.
All right, so Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State, and then there's money on both sides. There's money on both sides. I'm not going to lie, but right now we are heavy on Arizona State to win. I don't agree with that. I do think St. John's will pull it off against Arizona State. But like I said, our numbers right now, our lines, they're perfect. We are heavy on our money line a little bit there at -135 for Arizona State. But like I said, we hold it until we absolutely have to move it. So I would get in on it now before it moves because we are getting a little heavy, and I assume other books are too. So I assume that this
okay.
Yeah.
So is it usually simultaneous? Because you guys are not only monitoring what you're doing, you're monitoring obviously what the competition is doing too, because you need to be competitive. That's the whole point. And as sports investors, we need to be aware of that also, that, you guys are all in it. You're not necessarily looking for who exactly is going to win or lose. You are looking to make sure that you're covered on both sides. And sometimes people lose sight of that. So the numbers that you guys and other books are reflecting really is about covering your ass and making sure you're not too exposed on one side or the other. And sometimes, that'll be honest, as a sports investor yourself, Bri, that creates value sometimes because you really feel strongly about one side or the other.
Of course. I couldn't have said it better myself, really. That's why we do what we do. We are always looking at other books, always. We have them all up on our screens at all times. We're watching their line movements. We're watching what they're doing. We don't know exactly why they moved a line. Of course, we're not, that in tune with what they're doing. But we see when they move a line, we see, where they're headed towards, what juice they're putting on. So it's like you said, we are watching at all times. We're trying to stay competitive, trying to stay, ahead of the game a little bit. But they're doing the same thing. Every other book is watching every other book's back and stuff like that. So it's just like it goes full circle. It's just a full circle. We're always watching. We're changing lines accordingly, and we're trying to offer the best bonuses and bonus structures that our customers can get the best value for.
And I'm wondering here, Art, you mentioned St. Mary's that seems to be the big underdog that you guys are taking an awful lot of money on. Is the clear-cut favorite? You mentioned Virginia, to move along. And are you seeing, is there any one particular, maybe a prop bet or one bet that you are starting to see not only a little bit of sharp money, but here comes Joe Public, who doesn't bet a lot. Are they putting it down for championship? This is a to win it all kind of thing, or are they diving into maybe a little bit more of the prop, like, hey, there'll be 2 number 1 seeds in the Final Four or 3 number 1 seeds in the Final Four, that kind of stuff?
Right. Well, right now we're just seeing futures, who's going to win the championship. That's where our most money's coming in. We do have a lot of props up right now. I'm looking at the props right now. And these props will go day by day. So we'll add new props here by the end of the night for tomorrow's games,
right,
and then the next for tomorrow. So people don't really have too much time to jump in on these props like you're thinking. But by the end of the night, once people start seeing them, I'm sure we'll see some money coming in. But right now, we just don't have many bets on props. But like I said, those futures are killing it for us.
Futures, yeah.
We have up on Duke and Virginia. I think we're a little bit better than some of the other books you might find out there. I think one of our futures administrators makes sure that we're a little bit above everyone else in this. So,
competitiveness is ridiculous, Brian. I mean, that's why I love using you guys. That's why I tell everyone about it, is because, shopping around and you can tell. I mean, you can tell who is, who's holding steady and who's keeping their value, as opposed to who's panicking and hurrying up and let's move it, let's crank the juice up, let's move the line. And that's not how you guys operate, which is awesome. I'm wondering, I don't know if it's on the same screen or not, but baseball season started today, of course, in Japan. I'm wondering, have you seen a lot of baseball action come in yet? A lot of the futures, season win totals, that kind of thing? Have you been taking some of that money in as well?
Season win totals, yes. I've actually seen a lot of players come in on the season win totals. So, but other than that, we had a lot on the money. We had a lot of money on the game this morning. Mm-hmm. Which was a great game, 9-7.
Which is crazy that you think about that, because a lot of people didn't even know there was a game this morning in Japan, but you ended up seeing a lot of money come in on it.
Oh, yeah. We had a good amount of money. I mean, for a baseball game at 5 in the morning, I think it was a sufficient amount of money on that game. I actually didn't even know it was a regular season game. I thought it was still, preseason, but I guess they just jumped right into it over there in Japan. But yeah, it was a good game to start off the season with, for sure. Obviously, baseball season gets a little bit tricky because these guys like to see the start a little bit, see the pitchers, see the rotations, and then they'll start making their bets after a couple of weeks to see the games playing. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more coming in here in the next few weeks. Right now, it's a little bit slow on the baseball side, but like I said, it's still full swing in basketball, and people love their basketball. So I'm sure we'll see that money swing over to baseball here soon enough.
Have you seen any AAF money? Have you seen some football money? People been dabbling at all there? Have you? Because I know I've been following the lines. You guys are very competitive there, but I'm wondering, what's the handle been like for you guys on the AAF?
It's been low. I don't think many people really know what's going on with that league quite yet. And quite frankly, I don't even know what's going on with that league. They almost went bankrupt in their first week. I think people are kind of scared to throw their money on a league that they might not see week in and week out. Hopefully it does. I actually like the level of play that they're playing at. I like to see a football on the off season is definitely a refresher. You don't have to wait all that, the 6 months for the next football game to come on. So, but yeah, like you said, we're not seeing much money on it. A couple of sharps hit us a little bit here and there. A couple, Joe's hit us a little bit, but nothing serious, nothing to panic over, that's for sure.
I can't wait until we talk next week, because Johnny Manziel was just signed by Memphis, and Johnny Manziel is going to play. So I can't wait to see if he moves the needle. I have a feeling he'll move the needle from a rating standpoint. I think more people will watch it because we all love a good car crash. I'm wondering if it'll move the sports investing needle. I'm wondering if the bettors will go, oh, Manziel's here, and maybe see a little action. So that'll be interesting to monitor as we move along. As you look, let's go tonight, as a matter of fact, and we're talking March Madness. We should also, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention you got NIT games here tonight, CBI, CIT. You've got a lot of different tournaments happening, not just the 64 brackets. How about NIT tonight? Is there are you seeing some money? What's the biggest bet game right now on the board tonight in college hoops?
Let us take a look. Well, definitely by far it's that Arizona State
Arizona
St.
State
John's
game,
game.
okay.
If we're talking about NIT CBI games. Let's see. We got a lot of money on West Virginia, a lot of money on DePaul, South Florida against Stony Brook. We got a lot of money there, and we also got a lot of money on Southern Mississippi against Longwood. Actually, we got a lot of money on Longwood, the underdog there, for Southern Mississippi not to cover the spread. So,
not to cover it tonight. What are they laying? 9? What is your number at right now?
Right now, it's at 9.
It's at 9. Okay.
And actually, we're really heavy on that, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see that going down to 8.5 here pretty soon.
Wow. Okay. See, there you go. Another indicator. And I'm wondering, Brian, is there a way for folks when they join, right, YouWager, is there a easier way or is there a way to monitor those kinds of line movements? In other words, if I'm monitoring that game and I'm saying, you know what, I'd really want to bet it at 8.5. Is it just a matter of just continuing to log on and make sure and see where it is, or is there an easier way to go about it?
We are actually trying to implement something that does give our customers a little alert that will say, hey, awesome. You tagged this game, the line just moved here and there. But obviously that's going to take a little bit of time to implement. But as of right now, it's like you said, just keep an eye on it.
Good.
Keep looking at it, check every half hour, 15 minutes. It's not that hard. You can even stay logged onto your account, just refresh the page every once in a while, and they'll update for you. But yeah, like I said, there's big things in the works here over at YouWager. We need to start stepping up our game, especially with legalization in the United States. So we definitely need to make things better and more attractive to the U.S. customer. So you'll see a lot of new changes and new updates coming out of YouWager here in the next few months.
Love it.
Definitely football season. So.
Yeah, well, you'll definitely get ready for that, but plenty to get to between now and then. How about the NBA tonight? As you glance over the board there in the NBA, what are the big betted games here tonight? Is it Boston? Is it the Knicks and Utah? What are you looking at there tonight?
What I'm looking at is a lot of people are staying away from the Bucks game. It looks like we got a little bit of money on the Mad cover against the Pelicans. Let's see what else we got. The Houston Rockets, we got money to cover against the Grizzlies, and we got the Thunder to cover against the Raptors. That's pretty much it. Not much NBA comes in this early in the day. You usually see all the big money coming in like 5-10 minutes before tip-off. It's actually quite annoying for us line movers.
Yeah, I can imagine, right? Yeah, it's all of a sudden last minute. You got 10 minutes to tip off, and all of a sudden you got a lot of money pouring in.
Exactly. And it's hard to keep track of line movements. And then this guy played it this way. Oh God, we got $2,000 on the other way.
Right.
So yeah, definitely 5 to 10 minutes before tip off is definitely when the sharp players and the big money players like to come in and just bang us on the lines.
That's a great tip right there. Yeah, because they're waiting for it one way or the other. And again, you guys are all in the same boat. So this is why it's important to have multiple options, as a sports investor, because you got to know once one blinks, you know what I mean? It gives you the opportunity and the leeway, and that's what it's all about. First one in is going to win. So what are you seeing right now, Brian, as far as, let's say, sharp money versus Joe Public money on these games? Are you 50-50 on, like, the Virginia, when you're looking at these futures? You mentioned Virginia heavily bet. I mean, are we 50-50 sharp to Joe Public, or is Joe Public 70% of the money coming in on these future championship games, and the sharps haven't necessarily been there just yet?
Well, let me take a look here. Let's see how much sharp action we actually have on these games. Or on these futures, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the sharps are just, they're kind of spread out a little and you're starting to roll in like where, and we all know, from a sports investing standpoint, what some of the things that we look at are maybe the reverse line shifts and those types of things. Some steam comes in, meaning that you may have 30% of the bets on one team, but they represent 70% of the money that you took in, and that usually tells us that's where the sharp money's coming in. And sometimes you'll have 90% of the bets, on one team, but only represent 30% of the money. And that'll tell us you got a lot of $5, $10, a lot of Joe Public bets coming in. And but that's not really what moves the line a lot of times. It's that they may only be 30% of the bets on any particular game, but guess what? They represent an awful lot of money, which means that's the sharp money.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and to be honest, we don't have much sharp action on these futures. I think the
Yeah, I didn't
most
think so. Yeah, not
action we
yet.
got on Gonzaga. We got a lot of sharp action on Gonzaga, and also one more I just saw here, also on Virginia to win it all. But other than that, it's like you said, the Joes really like that more than the sharp players do. I think it doesn't hold as much value for the sharp players as it would for any regular guy.
And again, a lot of the reason we've talked about it here, Brian, is that whole idea of like, listen, if I like Duke, I am not betting them at 2-1, okay, for a shot. There's no value in that for me. What I'll do is bet them week to week and roll the money over. So, I'll bet Duke against North Dakota. Congratulations. I'll take that money, roll it over to whatever the line is going to be the following week, and I'm not holding 2-1. You're out of your mind. But, novices and Joes don't necessarily understand that concept. It's easier for them just to place the bet, hold the ticket, and, and remind me, did I win? And that's what you guys are dealing with right now. That's what we've got this time of year. So it is a little crazy. I'm wondering, too, I started to dabble a little bit into the soccer realm, which seems to you're taking action year round. I mean, I know MLS just kicked off, but the Champions things, all of a sudden I started to get into this, and some of the guys that I've been talking to, it's a year round business, is it not?
Oh yeah, it's year round. They have soccer all year between the Champions League, English Premier League, MLS. You got all these second division teams we have lines up for. I mean, we try to offer our customers as many lines as possible. And
you're getting a handle on it. I mean, this is being bet around the world, is it not?
Well, yeah. I mean, soccer globally is one of the most watched sports in the world. I mean, you go to America, and obviously it turns into football. Football's popular, but any other country in the world, you're looking, soccer is the most popular sport in that country. So it is definitely a big betting favorite. It's hard to get U.S. players to bet on it, but if they do, they're usually pretty good at it.
Right.
Soccer betting is definitely a good way to go. I love to bet on soccer. I love betting on the English Premier League and the Champions League the most, obviously. But, soccer's a year-round thing. There's always games. There's always teams playing. There's always a different season playing in some different countries. So it's definitely a great thing to do year-round. Football's not around, but at least you've got some soccer action coming on.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And the bottom line is it's all about options. As a sports investor, guys, you need to have, a book offshore that you can rely on, that you can count on. And I can tell you, whether it be soccer, whether it be the AAF, whether it be basketball, whether it be baseball, and, hell, I've seen you have cricket lines on there. So you guys, you pretty much cover everything, including, it should be mentioned, coming up here, you're going to have the Kentucky Derby. You got the Florida Derby. You got a couple of very big horse races coming up, and you guys even offer that at the book as well.
Yeah, it's not just those races. We offer a lot of small-town races as well. Call us up. We have our own horse department, and we'll walk you through all the racetracks we offer, all that. We have horses every day. There's a race every day. There's actually multiple races every day. We have a lot of action coming in on horses every day. So it's nice for customers to sit at home instead of going up to the track, playing their money, and then having to drive home. They can just sit on their couch, watch TV. They're good to go. But yeah, it's like you said, we offer everything, including horses. Tracks that you might not even think of we have here, we offer them. So give us a call, and we'll definitely help you through the process.
Love it. Bottom 1-800. You guys got it over here. Let me make sure that we got the number so we can throw it up there for these guys. But it's pretty simple, guys. There it is. 1-800-YouWager. Just give them the code right now. Tell them I just saw Brian. He's telling me that I got to bet the Knicks tonight, and the code is JRS50, and they're going to drop a 50% sign-up bonus in there right now for you. 1-800-YouWager. That's 1-800-YouWager. And I think the thing, Bri, that people will gather, and the thing that I love about it, and God knows I belong to every book known to mankind here, but the customer service, the fact that I can pick up that phone, call 1-800-YouWager, and there's somebody answering like on the second ring. You understand people. It's like, you set the account up. It takes 5 minutes, and anytime you got a question, man, if they don't have an answer, they're going to get you the answer. It's amazing to me, and you can speak to it. You're there. A lot of effort and a lot of attention has been put into the customer service aspect at YouWager.
Oh, of course. We pride ourselves on our customer service. Our customers, without customers, we'd be nothing. We wouldn't be who we are today. So we try to take care of each and every one of you, like you're our first. You definitely won't be our last, but we're going to treat you like you're our first. So We definitely pride ourselves in that. It's something we take very seriously. We make sure that everyone can speak fluent English here, that everyone can understand English, and that we really make your experience here at YouWager top notch.
I love that. All right, let me go through one or a couple of games here that are up on the board. Some of the things that people are asking about, and we'll start, of course, tonight. You mentioned Arizona, St. John's. A lot of money coming into that. How about the other play-in game? North Carolina Central, North Dakota State. Of course, the winner of this, congratulations, gets to go play Duke this week in the first round. But this is in Dayton. This is actually the early game, 6:40. What are you looking at so far in this game with North Dakota State and North Carolina Central?
Looking at it right now, we're pretty even on all ends of the spectrum here. We're sitting at North Dakota's favored 5, and you're actually laying 0.5 on that. So there's your value we're talking about. If you like that -5 for North Dakota, we're getting a little bit of reduced juice there. But we are a little heavy on the total there. We're sitting at 134. We're a little heavy on the over on that one. But other than that, there's really not too much money on that game.
Not a whole lot of money on that. Love that. All right, cruising down here as I'm looking at some of these games here. How about this was another one that people have been circling, Butler, Nebraska. Tonight in the NIT tournament. Nebraska is home. And, this is one of those situations, too, where we've been telling you, the NIT and these other tournaments, a little bit different. They give the higher-seeded team the option of actually hosting these games if they promise to sell enough tickets and so on and so forth. But, as a sports investor, that makes a difference when you guys are making the line, too, right? Neutral site games versus, maybe the NIT where it's a definite true home game kind of matters to you as well, doesn't it?
Of course. A home team is very you have a great advantage being the home team. We've seen it firsthand. I mean, going in and playing in Duke is different than going and playing in Stony Brook. And it shows. It definitely shows. So that definitely does play a factor in what line we put up to begin. But after we put that first line up, it could go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy to start with. I noticed yesterday a couple of big numbered games. I mean, Clemson was favored by 1 million over Wright State. You had Indiana was also a double-digit favorite. Didn't end up, I don't know if they ended up covering there. They had a monster second half. But, those are the types of games, maybe there's more value to be had in these NIT games than there is, let's say, the cookie cutter, the final 64 here where it's Duke, it's Virginia, Gonzaga is going to be what, a 26-point favorite over Fairleigh Dickinson, some obnoxious number like that. Maybe some of these lesser tournaments, the NIT, maybe the CBI offers a little better value to the sports investor. Have you found that?
I would agree with that per se, and the only reason I would was just because March Madness tends to bring a different type of player out of these college teams. They tend to play harder, play faster, play more physical, and then you got teams that are in the NIT, the CBI that just couldn't cut it and couldn't get out of that, couldn't get into the tournament, who almost kind of gave up. It's not as important to them, so they don't play as well, But you're right, though. The difference between the teams in NIT and the CBI is that the matchups aren't exactly as good as you would see in March Madness. So, you got a Duke playing, whoever's going to play into the play-in game. But I'm already seeing lines out there for Duke at 35. And it's just that's insane. You can't possibly think that Duke's going to cover a 35-point spread.
Yes.
Against any team. I mean, that's just an insane number. So there's definitely some value there. We'll see what the line actually comes up to. Like I said, really knows who Duke's going to be playing, so no one can really come out with a solid, concrete line right now. But like I said, I do see a couple books out there that do have 35 or 34.5 already without even a Duke playing any teams.
You mentioned earlier, Butler, Nebraska, what are you seeing there right now? Still at -5, and what are we about, 50-50 on this game as well?
Butler, Nebraska, -5 for Nebraska. We are slightly, very, very slightly heavy on the Butler side on that one, and we are even on the total at 143.5.
Interesting. And how about this, where is it here? Loyola taking on California Baptist. This is part of the CBI tournament we were telling you about. Loyola, is it still 1, or has it moved?
It has moved. We're at 1.5 right now. But that's another game that we just don't have much money on. Not a lot of people like it, but if I was going to pick, I would take Loyola.
Yeah, right.
All day.
Take that all day long there. How about Wichita State Furman? Furman, one of these teams in the NIT, a 2 or 3 seed. A lot of people feel they got screwed. Wofford's a nice story, but Furman is just as deadly from shooting. I think it was 5.5 last I checked along those lines. What is the Furman Wichita State game looking like?
Right now, we are sitting at 5, and we are a little bit heavy on the Wichita State side, and we are heavy on the over at 142.5.
Wow.
But I agree with you. I do think that the Wofford story is great. Furman has some good shooters, but when you're getting into that 16, 15, 16 seed, it's really tough to tell which teams are actually good enough to be in those positions. So when it comes to that, I think it's pretty much just a coin toss. I don't think anyone played better than the other team. I think they're both wonderful teams that have a lot in common, actually. I don't think anyone got screwed. I just think it was the luck of the draw this year around. Next year, they'll have plenty of chances.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good, too. I think a lot of people are going to spend some time looking at that, those mid-major conferences. They always seem to forget them, but they got some players there, like Murray State, for instance. I know a lot of guys. I'm interested to see, has the line moved? It opened up. It was supposed to open up at 5, maybe 6, somewhere along those lines. What have you seen action-wise, Murray State Marquette tomorrow?
Tomorrow, let's see. Let's go over there. I think we just opened that up this morning. There it is. Murray State, we got Marquette favored -3.5, and you're only laying 105 on that one. So we are heavy on the Murray State side, so that's why you see the -105. It's like I was saying earlier, we're trying to get some buyback. We're giving you guys a little bit better value on that side if you like it, so go take it before it changes.
And I got to tell you, to me, that's all, we talked about these trendy favorites right now by Joe Public. I got to think Joe Public's like, oh, they got this guy. What is his name? I don't remember, but he's supposed to be this great basketball. I mean, that's the kind of thing right now. When you got guys backing up Murray State over Marquette, that's where some of that Joe Public money will start coming in, hammering it, and start affecting the lines there. And I'm sure Marquette fans are like, well, you guys are serious, right? It's Murray State. What are you guys doing? But you are seeing at that -105, you guys are just saying, hey, Marquette, you like it? It's here to play.
Exactly. It's here. Take it. We're going to give you a little bit better price for it. Please take it.
Yeah. And what about Belmont last night? Ended up winning. What did you? I saw the number -5 this morning. Maryland laying 5 against Belmont. Another one of these trendy dogs here. What have you seen so far in this game? I think also squared away for tomorrow afternoon.
Maryland versus Belmont. We got a lot of Belmont money. I'll tell you that. The line's at -3 right now.
Hell yeah, then.
Yeah, -3. I'd say 90% of our money on that game is on the Belmont side, and we have almost no money on the money line or the total. So
really,
people really like the Belmont side. Yeah.
Wow, a lot of people just going Belmont, taking those 3. And how about Seton Hall Wofford also tomorrow afternoon? Speaking of Wofford, another one of these. I don't. How many times in the past? I think the number was 1, or it's only happened a handful of times where the maybe a lower seeded team or what they felt like a mid-major that it was favored over like a Big East team like Seton Hall. A lot of people think that the wrong team is favored here. What is the line showing you right now? Seton Hall versus Wofford.
Right now, we got Wofford at -2.5. We opened it at 3. So it's definitely, like I said, we've seen money come the other way. But if I'm being completely honest with you, Joe, I haven't seen a more even game than what I'm looking at right now. I mean, we are completely exactly dead in the middle. Both sides are completely even on this side. So no one really knows which side is supposed to go to.
Wow. And I'll give you one more, too, tomorrow, early lines. Another game a lot of people have circled is this Nevada versus Florida game. And this one is in Des Moines, Iowa. This is going to be around 6:50 tomorrow night there. Florida, Nevada. What do you got opening line with this?
Opening, we had, let's take a look here. On the line at -2.5 for Nevada. Right now, it's moved since then. Since then, we've seen Nevada go down to 1.5. It's moved back up. Right now, we're sitting at a strong 2.5. And people are really liking that Nevada side. We're heavy on the Nevada side.
Love that. All right. So there is plenty of opportunity here, guys, as you can see. Brian doing a fantastic job there. If you know what you're looking at and you have the option, and that's really what it's all about, giving yourself an ability to be able to shop and find that number minus 105. If you like one side, this is what it's about, man. Go shop and give yourself the edge. You're buying numbers here, guys. That's what you're playing. You're not betting teams. We can talk Murray State and Florida and Nevada all we want. Brian, it really comes down what we're betting is numbers, isn't it?
All day. Definitely don't worry about the teams. Look at the numbers. Obviously, the teams do play a big part in it, obviously. But, look at the numbers. If the number's not right, don't take it. You don't have to make every play on every game.
No,
that's for sure.
Amen to that. And but it starts with giving yourself a couple of options. You can do that. And again, guys, it's all about YouWager.eu. Once again, the number up there, 1-800-YouWager. That's 1-800-YouWager. The code JRS50. And they will answer it rather quickly. They'll dump that 50% bonus in there, and you guys are on your way. You're shopping, and you're making plays, and you're cashing tickets, and that is what it's all about. 1-800-YouWager, the code JRS50, and he is Brian Young, YouWager.eu. That is how you can find him, guys, on Twitter as well, at BYoungSports21. Brian, not only one of the managers at the Sportsbook there at YouWager, also you still doing the podcast? You still doing the weekly stuff there, Bri, too, as well? You guys talking sports in there?
Well, of course. We're always doing a little something that we can. And actually, we updated your promo code. So now it's not just 50%. We can give your customers 100% right now.
Really?
Until April 7th. So and make sure you get in on that before that's over. It's coming up quick. But yeah, like you were saying, it's exactly like that. We also have a million bracket challenge going on right now. So get in on that. And like I said, there's always something new going on here, different promotions, different bonus structures. So just keep an eye out for us. We're always updating. We're always bringing you guys new things. And we'll go from there. But yeah, our podcast is still going strong. Check us out, OBG Radio. We do a show weekly. And we actually took a couple weeks break here just because March Madness and whatnot. But we will be starting back up here shortly. And we'll bring you guys some entertainment, that's for sure.
Yeah, guys, make sure you tail in YouWager on Twitter, too. They do a great job of updating everything that's going on, all the different promos, all the different things happening at YouWager_FF. Tail them, follow the links, guys. Get your account opened up, and let's make it a profitable March Madness, which is what it is all about. He is Brian Young. Brian, I thank you so much for your time, man. Looking forward to talking to you again next week. Can't wait to see how some of this starts shaping out. And, as we get ready to crown a national champion, we'll also be getting ready to really start diving into a little more soccer, a little more baseball, and before we know it, football will be here. But we appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Appreciate it. Until next week.
All right, there you go. Plenty of information from our friends at YouWager.eu. Want to thank Brian Young, Sportsbook Manager, Odds Maker there. A lot of great information, guys, that you can utilize as you're sitting there and you're line shopping. And I hope you pulled out what he just said there at the end, which was we've got a 100% bonus now at YouWager. That is right. The March Madness has begun. You guys cannot get now a 100% sign-up deposit match bonus. You put the money in, they will match it dollar for dollar right now at YouWager. That means all you have to do is pick up the phone and call 1-800-YouWager. That's 1-800-YouWager. You give them that code, and they will drop that 100% in right now. That's JRS50, JRS50. Deposit, you'll get a 100% deposit match right now. And you, too, as we come up on the 6 o'clock hour, you, too, will be able to go ahead there and start line shopping. Get the best numbers, because I think if you guys noticed what Brian was saying here is there's a lot of these games, especially with these very trendy underdogs right now. The UC Irvines against Kansas State, Oregon's versus, 12 versus 5 versus Wisconsin, Murray State. You got a lot of these trendy teams where the numbers are coming down, 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 and you don't really care. Murray State, Jerk-Off State, Jack-Off State. It doesn't really make a difference. What matters is the number. Is the number where you want it to be? And obviously, the number there, it sounded like was at 3.5. But if you can get 4, or if you can get 4.5 somewhere, why the hell wouldn't you do that if you like Murray State? So it's all about shopping, getting the best number. I think Brian did a great job of explaining how, listen, like we shop, the books are shopping offshore, okay? The guys at YouWager, they are monitoring everything that is going on. They're competing against everybody else out there, all the other books in the offshore as well. So it behooves them to continue to try and last the longest, be the book that holds out the longest, keeping the number where the number should be so they compete for our business. It actually works out like that. But you will see some books will automatically jack the juice up. They'll keep the number at -3, -3.5, but now it went from -110 to, oh yeah, look at that, -120. So, you got to understand what these numbers mean when you are line shopping, okay? If a number is at -105, then you've got to go, well, why is it at -105? Well, that means they're getting a whole lot of other action probably going the other way, so they're trying to entice you, a little less juice, same line, go ahead. They want to try and get you to take that side. So these are all the little tips and tricks. The pros, you guys that have been doing this forever, you know exactly what we're talking about. For those of you that are just joining us, kind of new to the whole sports investing world, maybe this is the time of year where you're like, you know what, I'm going to try this. I've heard a lot about this whole sports and, sports betting and March Madness and, ooh, sounds great. Well, these are the types of things that you need to know. These are the kinds of things of why we have created the Joe Raineri Show, why we do this each and every day during the week, trying to bring guys on and help educate you, try and hear what's going on behind the scenes with the sports books, YouWager and some of the other the books around the country. I mean, you've got to have a reliable offshore book that you can rely upon in order to line shop if you don't live in one of the 5 states that actually have it. I mean, a whole bunch. I think 19 by the end of the year will have some sort of legislation, if not actual books opened in them. So if you are in a state, like Miami, like Florida here, where we've got this giant dickhead of a mouse named Mickey, so I doubt very much we're ever going to get it. So you guys in Florida, if you're not driving to, Mississippi or somewhere, or New Mexico, or heaven forbid, West Virginia, if you're heading to West Virginia, you probably lost a bet somewhere along the line there. But anyway, I digress. The bottom line is you need an offshore book. You need a place to be able to go not only place your bets, you need a place that you can trust. And when you shop, you win. It's all about getting the best number. If we're betting numbers, then I want the best number. That's the whole point. So YouWager, great information there. I want to thank him. He's going to join us each and every week here in the afternoons on the Joe Raineri Show, try and pick the brain of the sports books, kind of get their perspective of what is going on in the world of sports, what the lines are telling us that day. A lot can be learned by studying and line shopping and understand what books are doing what and understanding why they're doing it. And I swear to you, before the end of the year, if it kills me, we're all going to be more profitable this year because we're all going to be a little bit smarter. How are you going to do that? Well, first, it starts with getting the right cappers in your corner. Now, we all like to think we are the smartest people known to mankind, right? But I've told you on this show 100 times, and I'll say it again. I don't want to be in the room where I'm the smartest dude. Don't want to be there. That room sucks, okay? Don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to be in a room where I can evolve, I can grow, I can learn some things. And that is what this show's platform is all about, is introducing you guys to some of the smartest, some of the most profitable, some of the best sports handicappers from around the country. And the reason I do that is so we can hear, we can learn, you can meet who these guys are, because quite honestly, guys like my good friend here, Dr. Bob, from Dr. Bob Sports, if you guys don't know him, you should. He's been, the dude is one of the best and most well-respected sports handicappers in the business, has been for over 20 years. I wanted to get him on the show today, but he is just so inundated with stuff going on right now. He just finished his breakdown of all the brackets of all the teams in the tournament. You want to talk about valuable free information, guys. What Dr. Bob has got going on over at Dr. Bob Sports, it is free, too. You can download his brackets and all the information, how he breaks down every team, what they do, what you should look at. It is a must-have for you guys. He is going to try to come on the show tomorrow, Friday. But my point is, guys like Dr. Bob don't have all day to hang out on, gambling Twitter and social media and make a lot of noise and say, look at me, look at me. Yet these are the guys we should be paying attention to, and not unfortunately a lot of the so-called handicappers that hang out on social media and scream and yell and post a million pics and act as if they know something. These are not the guys you want to take advice from. These are not the guys you want to blindly play their plays, okay? What you want to do is you want to meet guys like Dr. Bob here, Bob Stoll, Dr. Bob Sports. These are the guys that you want to listen to, hear from, and learn from, which is why we bring him on the show here. So, and we hope to have him on by Friday, if not tomorrow, kind of breaking down and giving you an idea of how he approaches this time of year, because it's not the same thing. So we want you to hear from some of the best, which is why I have told you guys how many times now about our good friend Jay, the Sports Keg CEO, his live Kegcasts. Every night, guys, during the tournament, last night, tonight, he is holding on YouTube. You just look at, here it is, the Sports Keg page on YouTube. Those of you guys that are watching on YouTube right now and tailing us, head over to the Sports Keg page, subscribe to his page every night, 7 o'clock, right? Jay and about a half a dozen other like-minded, great, smart, intelligent, honorable cappers, they gather and they live in-game wager the whole night. And what they do is they open it up to a think tank and give people an opportunity to be able to join them during the night who maybe aren't familiar with in-game wagering, or, want to bounce some ideas that they have off. And, hey, man, I was looking at this team tonight. What do you think about this? And it's filled. What happens is during the night, 20, 30, 40, 50 guys and girls from around the country, sports fans, sports betting enthusiasts, handicappers, they all gather there on this live YouTube webcast, and they start bouncing stuff, off of one another. And by the way, they collectively as a group come up with their live in-game wagering plays. And last I checked, as of last night, they were up 52 units in just a month's time that they've been doing that. 52 units live in-game wagering by guys coming together and sharing the knowledge and sharing the wealth. So honestly, guys, I'm sharing this with you because love these guys, love what they do, love what they represent. We totally believe that knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the smarter sports investor you'll be, the better chance you have, guys, of actually being profitable this year in 2019. When you fail at something, 55% or 45% of the time where you're there is the fact that if I'm 55%, I'm actually really, really profitable. No other business in the world will allow you to fail 45% of the time, and we will pat you on the back for it. But these guys understand that. These are pros, and they're good people, and they are trying to spread the knowledge. They're trying to spread the wealth, because it's not you versus me. It's not them versus the world. It's all of us who invest in sports. It's us against the sports books. And they are pretty damn smart, guys, and they have every tool available known to mankind to make sure they have an edge. We want the edge. And the way to get the edge is by coming together and being a little bit smarter and a little bit more savvy. And that's why guys like the Sports Keg and the rest of the crew that does this on a daily night basis, the Kegcasts, it's where you should also go. Subscribe to his YouTube page there. It's The Sports Keg. Subscribe today. Join them tonight, 7 o'clock. They will get it. They will get it ready to rock and roll. And then, of course, that brings me to our good friends, Trendy Bets. What can I say about Trendy Bets? They delivered again last night for us here on the show. They gave you the over in the Colorado-Dayton game. They told you over 139.5 was the play. It absolutely hit, and it didn't hit without, it hit without even, it wasn't even remotely close there, guys, actually. It hit, it ready to go, and you guys pocketed the money. Why? Because that's how Trendy Bets rolls. These guys have been monsters on this show with their free plays. Those that have been tailing us here on the show the entire NBA season, you guys are up close to 60 some odd units just by playing their free plays. They went weeks upon weeks going 4-1. 4-1, 5-0, 5-0, 4-1. A couple of months, the first couple of months, they only lost 3 free games the entire month. I mean, ridiculous. And they've got some amazing opportunities, not only for the rest of the NBA season, but of course, the NBA playoffs. And now you can get them all, guys, all. You can get them right now at Trendy Bets. All their systems, their 5-system play college basketball, their college basketball plays, their 5 systems at a ridiculous price. As a matter of fact, you can see it right there. If you go there and if you put the code NCAAB50, you can go ahead. These are their systems. You guys can go ahead and take 50% off those numbers. All right? It's about giving guys the opportunity to work in your corner, guys that are putting in the time and effort like Trendy Bets, because you don't have the time or the effort, and you probably haven't been watching the Missouri Valley all year, have you, or the Southern Conference. Hell, you probably haven't been watching ACC basketball games, much less diving in like these guys do on their level. These are the kinds of guys that you want working for you as you head into your brackets and as you think about playing some games here tonight moving forward over the next couple of weeks. So my suggestion, head over to trendybets.com. Put the code in NCAAB50, NCAAB50, and take 50% off any one of their college packages, their bracket and college game packages, tournament packages right now. Get there, trendybets.com. In fact, let us see if we can't come up with a couple of the games that they like. Let's see what we've got here. Let me see if I can pull these up from Trendy Bets, because you know what? They definitely, let's see, 9:39. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's see. Make sure I got the right games here. Hold on. Nope, definitely not that game, so hold on. Let's see here. Quality radio there, right? All right, so let me go one. Let me do this. How about we go 175. Sorry that we didn't have this already ready for you guys. That's kind of embarrassing here. As you can tell, I'm very embarrassed with it. Hold on. That's the game. Nope, that was last night's game, so that's not going to do us any good. All right, let me see if I can just find the games with the right dates. I think that's really the key. What is today? Today is the 20th, right? Can you tell how many of these games I got going on here right now? Let me see here. So let's see. How about we do this? Let's go. There you go. All right, now we're cooking with gas here, guys. All right, here we go. Our trendybets.com free play tonight. Game number 1 in college hoops. Butler, Nebraska. A little NIT action. Butler laying 5.5. Total 144. And here's what we know from Trendy Bets. The over 6-1 in the Bulldogs' 8 overall, the last 8. Also 4-1 in the Bulldogs' last 5 road games versus a team with a winning home record. This game in Lincoln, Nebraska. The over is 6-2 in the Cornhuskers' last 8 overall. They've been putting up the points. Also the over 4-0 in Nebraska's last 4 games following a straight-up loss, and obviously they lost in the Big 12 championship to Iowa. Didn't work out, although they played really tough. The bottom line, when you add it all up and you spit it out, you've got yourselves an overplay tonight. Over 144. Butler at Nebraska tonight over 144. And that, of course, is courtesy of our friends at trendybets.com. And again, I'm going to encourage you guys to get over to trendybets.com and check it out, guys. I'm not the only one. I'm telling you, these guys have been nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal all year long. All they have done on the show here, on the Joe Raineri Show, is provide you guys free plays. And I know those of you that have actually been tailing the show from the very beginning, from the beginning of this year, you guys know, I know how much money you guys have made because you DM me and you tell me it all the time. It has been absolutely a crazy season, and it's so good to be able to put on a spotlight guys like the dudes at Trendy Bets, the group of guys there who are working, when I tell you, day and night. This group of guys are putting in the work. They have no lives. All they are doing is crunching numbers and going over data. That's what they do. That is how they roll. These guys have been absolutely phenomenal, and it shows. You can't fake the numbers. And no matter how much you try, and a lot of guys try on social media to fake the numbers, you cannot fake the numbers. And the numbers have been ridiculous for them. Now, that's college tonight, right? So let's see what we've got here when it comes to the NBA. And this is what we've got tonight. NBA, Trendy Bets, free play. Mavericks, Trailblazers. Portland laying 10. Total, 217.5. Here's what we know. The over, 11-5 in the Mavs' last 16 versus a team with a winning straight-up record. The over, 5-2 in the Trailblazers' last 7 versus a team with a losing straight-up record. Also, the over, 6-0 in the Trailblazers' last 7 home games versus losing teams. Also, the over, 15-5-1 in Portland's last 21 games, playing on just 1 day's rest. Portland has the rest. They are taking on a Mavericks team that just lost. And let's face it, the over, 217.5. It seemed a little low to me when I saw this, and it also seems a little low to Trendy Bets. 217.5 over tonight is your play, courtesy of our friends at Trendy Bets. So once again, going with the over Mavericks and Blazers. And then, of course, the over tonight, Butler, Nebraska, 144. Those are your TrendyBet.com free plays. And once again, I would encourage you guys, as soon as you get a chance, head over to TrendyBets.com. Check out their college systems, their packages. Right now, they've got 5 proven college systems that deliver at over 60%, an 18% ROI since 2005 on these systems. The plays can be yours, 50% off, NCAA B50, all right? Get to TrendyBets.com and get it going, guys. Don't know what else to tell you there besides the fact that they are straight money. All right. Also want to remind you, too, don't forget our friends at halftimemagic.com. If you are looking to get into second half wagering tonight, and that's what I do for the record, I'm a big second half player. Love the edge that second half lines provide us, especially this time of year. And there is absolutely nobody better than our friends at halftimemagic.com. They're offering you all the plays from now till Sunday. Giving you all of those plays, I think, for $59, which is absurd. You get the alerts on your phone tonight during the half times. The alert come over. You just hop on to YouWager and your book, and you make the plays, and you watch. They were, I think we hit 5 out of 6 last night. 5 out of 6 halftime plays in the NBA and college basketball last night we cashed in, including another one of their golden plays, which is a very special play. It's a play that if you're a $100 bettor, you need to be a $200 or $300 bettor. If you're a $500 bettor, you probably need to be a $1,000 bettor in those plays. And it doesn't make a difference. You're a $10 player, $20 player, $5 player. It doesn't make a difference. The bottom line is you want an edge, and nobody gives you an edge in second half wagering than our friends at Halftime Magic. So do yourself a favor. Head over to halftimemagic.com. Get it going, guys. Halftimemagic.com. You too can get on the alerts just like I will be tonight. And I've been cashing all year long second half plays. opportunity knocking right now. March Madness. Take advantage of it, guys. HalftimeMagic.com. They are awesome. All right, I do want to thank Brian Young, of course, YouWager.eu. And that number, once again, if you're just joining us, 100% deposit match bonus right now at YouWager. It's 1-800-YouWager. The code is JRS50. That is JRS50. Get to YouWager. 1-800-YouWager. That's 1-800-YouWager. The code is JRS50, and you get that $100 deposit bonus tonight. You got it? $100 deposit bonus tonight, courtesy of our friends at YouWager. So exciting stuff tomorrow. We'll be back at it. We are loaded tomorrow, as a matter of fact. A lot of big games in the NBA tonight, but we've got, I do believe that we've got our friend Teddy Cover is going to join us on the morning after tomorrow, the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. If you guys have not joined yet, if you have not downloaded the free app, make sure you do. We've got you covered all morning long there. Me and Dane Martinez from 6A to 9A Eastern Standard Time. We've got you caught up with everything you missed overnight, like the Brooklyn Nets scoring 45 in the fourth and coming back from down 28 to be able to topple the Sacramento Kings last night. Great stuff there. 6 to 9, we've got you covered. And then Gabriel Morency and myself, two degenerates, we've got you from 9A to noon, and then the lineup is just stacked from there of millionaire DFS guy, next. We've got you covered from fantasy to sports betting to the sports world in general. We've got you covered. We're here to make you profitable, guys. That's what we do. It's certainly what we try to do here on the show tonight. I do have... let me just make sure that I am not crazy. I do have a free play tonight of my own, a play that I actually love a lot. I'll give you guys a little insight here on what we've got. I do love Orlando tonight. I've got Orlando laying 8 points right now, 8.5, taking on the wonderful and always exciting New Orleans Pelicans. Who, by the way, are going to be without Anthony Davis tonight. So I'm going with Orlando, I think, to finally take care of business. I've got this as a double-digit win for Orlando. So if you can get it at 8.5, jump all over it. But absolutely no Anthony Davis right now, not playing tonight for the Pelicans. The line opened up at 6.5. It did shoot up once the announcement was made, but still at 8.5 points, guys, I don't see how you can go wrong. It should be a 10 or 11 point victory tonight for the Orlando Magic. So I'm going to go ahead and go that route. I really do like the Orlando Magic. And I know you're going to say they've sucked, they're terrible. Yes, but look at the situation here. Look at who they're playing and look who's not playing for the Pelicans, and I think there's a reason why it should actually be double digits, but because it's Orlando, it's not, and I do have a feeling, guys, that this is going to be one of those 10 or 11 point situations there, and I do have a college game tonight that I like. I want to pass along the information to you here. Just bear with me. I want to make sure that I have the correct play. I want to make sure I get it right for you guys. Let's see here. All right. There it is. All right, let's see. Big Arizona backer tonight. We love Arizona laying 1.5. You got a better offense, better defense, better current form. And as much as we all made fun of the Pac-12 this year, I do think that if Arizona State shows up, better team. And, yes, St. John's may have the best player in Pons, but, you know, in big games, the guy is yet to show up. So Arizona State, as far as I'm concerned, Bobby Hurley, lay the 1.5. I'm going with them tonight. I'm also going with another big shot. I love Southern Miss here tonight, taking on Longwood. I know the number is 9, all right, and I got a real sneaky indication here that this is going to be a blowout by Southern Miss. I do think that, listen, Longwood played in the Big South Conference, which was terrible. Their biggest win all year was against Winthrop, which is, you know, number 180, guys, in the country. Southern Miss, the best defense that Longwood will have ever seen. They played one other team this good in defensive efficiency, and they lost that game by 20 points this year. So I do expect Southern Miss to bring it. The game might be in Longwood, but I am telling you right now, this is going to be a blowout. So I'm taking Southern Miss laying 9, and I am also going to sprinkle a little something on the whole West Virginia situation, laying 4.5 or 5 against Grand Canyon. Listen, as bad as West Virginia was this year, okay, they rocked it in the tournament. Didn't they, the Big 12 tournament? Who the hell saw them doing what they did to Texas Tech? And they gave Kansas all that they could handle. So even the fact that they were 4-14 in the Big 12, they were still 4-5 at home this year, and they're a better team at home. They were 4-5. They beat Kansas, Oklahoma, TCU, and Iowa State at home this year. West Virginia is hosting Grand Canyon tonight at 7 o'clock. So as far as I'm concerned, lay the 4.5, lay the 5, take West Virginia, take Arizona State, take Southern Miss, take the Orlando Magic tonight. Don't be afraid of the numbers. Just go ahead and play them. Cash these damn tickets. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We want to thank you guys very much. Brian Young, YouWager.eu. Want to thank him very much. TrendyBets.com. We got their plays ready to rock. Want to thank Dr. Bob, who will join us tomorrow. Also want to thank the Sports Keg CEO. Don't forget that Sports Keg Cast, guys. Getting ready to rock and roll. 7 o'clock. Little live in-game wagering tonight from our friends at the Keg, the Sports Keg CEO. Make sure that you guys check it out. Get there. Subscribe right now, the Sports Keg. Follow them, 7 o'clock, live in-game wagering up over 50 units, okay? Doesn't get any better than that. Want to thank Jay and the guys. Come back and join us tomorrow. We are loaded again. Joe D'Amico, AASI Wins, is going to stop by early, give you his early day plays tomorrow. Tournament time, guys. All gloves are off. We'll be hitting this all day long tomorrow, trying to bring you the latest information up to date, plus the latest plays from some of the sharpest and best handicappers from around the country all day tomorrow here. Like these videos. Follow us, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Keep monitoring this. We'll be going live all throughout the day, beginning tomorrow, right around noon, trying to get you caught up with the latest information and the latest plays from the best handicappers around the country. We'll do that tomorrow. So enjoy the games tonight. Good luck. May you cash the tickets. May we all wake up tomorrow a little bit richer, a little more profitable. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Don't forget, make it rain the morning after tomorrow, Fantasy Sports Radio Network. Good luck tonight, guys. We'll talk to you again. And if I can get this to work.